Good afternoon, everybody out there. It's shoulder tap. It feels like the first time this week something truly bizarre hasn't been happening in the markets simultaneously. But then, how's everything going today? It's Friday.
It is Friday. Great to see the activity. Yeah, it almost feels normal. You got a CPI release and an orderly move higher, it seems. So yeah, it's a good day. And as usual with any CPI release or large economic news, there are people in the live markets who got caught up. A few people who slipped past their daily loss limit, took it on the chin. So that was unfortunate to see. Generally speaking, in the live markets, we don't want to see our traders trading through the news. There's a difference between trading news when you have a position on into the announcement versus trading in the immediate uh, price action afterwards. So a couple people got cooked on that announcement, but as usual, quite a few people were able to capitalize on some or all of that and everything in between. So we do have a few traders up very nicely today. If we want to go over the leaderboards, pull that graphic up. I've got Dan up 45 grand, which is great to see. And a few other traders up just past that five-figure mark. Yeah, I've been up 24,000. So a couple people really knocked it out of the park. Just happened to be on the long side of the CPI move and or catch some of that move in the subsequent price action after the announcement. So been an interesting week overall and pretty fascinating CPI trading day. So that's what we got there. We also have a trading card, Jack. Anything you want to touch on before we jump into that?
No, yeah, has been a big week. I noticed in the green room, Ben, we were talking, you and me and JD, and you said my wife. How is that? Are you getting used to that?
Still getting used to it. Still getting used to. I'm not a big jewelry person, so I've got a ring now. I've never worn necklaces or rings or any of that stuff, so I'm having to remind myself to put that on a daily basis and yeah, refer to her as my wife and all that stuff. So still getting used to it a little bit, but it's a happy occasion and a good reason to have that adjustment. So yeah, still working on it.
Right on. Well, not a lot that needs to be adjusted with this card today. We can take a look at it. What do we have?
Yeah, I wanted to go over someone who's right now one of our hotter traders in live. Sewell has been trading very well, and we're really past the kind of the fluke phase. Anything can happen in a trading account over 5, 10, 15 trading days. You start getting north of that 25, 30 trading day mark, and you're going to see a lot more of the reality of what's happening in this account. Now, of course, stretching that out over months and even years is a different thing. But we want to get a feel like we have a pretty good grasp on who a trader is after about the 30 trading day mark, and really impressed with Sewell. Obviously, that average daily P&L is something to behold. That's great performance over this period of time. What I really like here, Jack, is that we have north of 50% winning days, 69% winning days actually, and the average winning day to average losing day is more than 2 to 1. So that ratio is likely to come back down to earth a little bit, but I think it speaks to the way in which Sewell is managing this account. Of course, not perfect. There's always room for improvement, but every day that Sewell has it falls into one of four categories, and they're all pretty neat categories. You either have a large winning day, which Sewell has put up a number of those. You have a small winning day, small losing day, or in a few instances, the hitting the the expanded daily loss limit recently. So that's a little bit of cause for concern hitting the daily loss limit. 2 days within the last month that were relatively large, but I love the booking winning days of $200 roughly. Um, and the losing days that are small. I love seeing losing days that are $100, down $100, down $150, and you know, when you're not seeing the market well, to not lose your shirt on that day, not go to the daily loss limit, I think shows a lot of poise. Being willing to sign off and take it into the next day has been really productive for limiting the downside in this account for Sewell and sticking around long enough to be exposed to the upside. So he's quite profitable in this account. It's taken a considerable amount of payouts as well, 124 grand in payouts from this account. The account balance is still very healthy. Um, I don't have a lot in the way of critiques for this trader. He was holding trades for 4 times as long on the winners compared to the losers. That's also um, incredibly reassuring for us. You know, when they've got it right, they're making sure that that trade works as much as it possibly can in their favor. So, um, really just an awesome card. Wanted to highlight one of our better traders in live right now, Jack. There's some more juice here, but what stood out to you as you were going through the trade reports for this fellow?
Yeah, I want to hit on a few things. As mentioned, 124K in payouts. It's pretty freaking good. Um, this is a really clean card in general. As you mentioned, with 32 days, only twice hitting the DLL, right? But let's check out. I made one of these histograms for Soul, and it's really a thing of beauty here. Um, you'll notice how this differs quite a bit from what we usually see when I show these histograms, right? Those big bars, this is the frequency, the number of days where they're in these $500 buckets of P&L. Now, what we usually see is a big skew towards the left with that DLL being hit. But you can see that little guy, um, don't worry about. But uh, tons of days between minus 500 and 500. This is, like I talked about earlier, this is the opposite of, well, I'm going to trade until I hit the DLL or make Lambo money. Um, really clean. The size is something nice too. We can go back to the card. I want to point out he went on a major heater between October 6th and October 16th, making 38K. Um, reasonable upside days. He made 9,800 bucks on a day that I think he just had 3 NQs on and took it for, you know, 15 hours, it looks like. Um, now Soul has really good risk management here. I would just warn coming off that heater, I looked back at some of the day candles and they seem to have been pretty advantageous, like statistically improbably so for the strategy I think he's using. So, you know, don't expect that to come around every day. But I mean, I don't need to tell this person anything. They know what they're doing. I mean, great risk management, pushing it, taking payouts. This is one of the better cards I've seen.
Yeah, this is a card for someone that's taking great advantage of the opportunity, and I love what you said, Jack, about there's the let's call it the wind at their backs, maybe for the the strategy that they're using and the market direction. Um, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's definitely a combination of both of those during any like long winning streak. And we saw someone. I'll even throw it back a little bit. Faye as someone who was trading gold exclusively. She was a live funded trader, one of the most profitable live funded traders we've had in the history of Topstep. And a lot of what she was doing was longing gold while gold was in a massive uptrend. I know that that's largely still going, but particularly the fall into the winter of last year, her strategy worked very well in the market that she was trading because it was moving higher. So, keeping your foot on the gas when it's working is just as important as being open-minded to when it's not working anymore, what needs to be done, right? Managing the downside so that you don't give back those gains. That's the only real concern that I have for Sewell is just staying disciplined and selective as you continue to profit, and being as clear-minded as you can be when you're making a lot of money to changing market conditions and tweaks that maybe need to be made. But I love the fact, at least so far, hasn't traded this account today, so that we've seen. So good outcomes for the most part, staying disciplined, and love to see someone really knocking it out of the park in the live markets.
Yeah. One in this account through 32 days, the sum of the winning days is $58,457. The sum of the losing days is 11,237. really stingy with those daily losses. And of course, this is something I've been tracking on a lot of cards. Um, the difference between their high P&L flat and what they ended the day at. And of course, it has never been more than their DLL. We see cards a lot where someone will be, give back 17K where their DLL's 4K or something like that. Um, and only did that on the 2 days that he hit the DLL. Otherwise, he is ending at the high watermark or giving back. I love this day. Uh, high P&L of 7,800 ended with 6,500. That's perfectly fine. Keep pushing. But yeah, great card. Not much more to say. Keep it up, Soul.
Yeah, feel good card for Feel Good Friday. That's all I got for us, Chad.
It is Feel Good Friday. And we're going to keep it on rolling. We're still glued to 6,800 SPX pretty much right now, but that could change. And next, we're going to have Hogue, JD, and Hoop are going to do some group coaching. So get your questions locked and loaded. We'll get the mouse locked and loaded to maybe take a trade if we move. This is Topstep TV. Let's do it. It's Friday.